What?
Yeah, no. PCSing to Hawaii does not need to be hard.
Why?
Everyone thinks it's hard. It's really not that hard. Oh God! All right, we're here. Come on.
It's really important to me to be a positive influence in these people's lives.
You're warming my heart. I did not pay her to say this, so. Hey, what's up, everybody? So we're actually out here at Victoria Plaza today. I want to show you guys what $350,000. Oh wait, no, $450,000 purchase price looks like. I almost lied to you guys there for a second. So we're just outside of town. We're in Honolulu. This is kind of Makiki Punch Bowl area. But no, Ashari was a VA buyer, came to me through Veterans United. She was looking, I mean, we looked at so many properties. I think we looked at it literally had to be 55, 60 properties. And we finally found this one, which was well within her budget. And you're gonna see why, but we got tons of credits. You're gonna see why she chose this one. We got tons of credits, we got a great deal. All she's really gotta do is just sit on it for 3 to 5 years and she's gonna make money. So excited to show you guys. We're gonna call her too, get her on the phone, hear some of her thoughts, so stay tuned. All right, so yeah, like I said, Punch Bowl area. This is the bowl. This is Honolulu proper. Look, we got ocean views right here.
Why is it the bowl?
Mountain views. No, I think they call it the Punch Bowl because like this creator here makes a bowl with Manoa. But yeah, it's a cool little zone. But yeah, check it out. So she hasn't even moved in yet, actually. Asharia did this completely remotely. Thank you for kicking your shoes off. They actually just professionally cleaned this. But yeah, 2 bed, 2 bath. The lanai is the best part. $450,000 right here. And we actually got a lot of credits too from the seller. Like the spalling issues down here on the patio are all being fixed and replaced. You know, there's some other things I can show you, like this stuff's got fixed. We got the new window hinges. So it was just like, not only did we get a good deal on the property, but like they fixed everything. Here, check out the bathroom. I'm gonna get Asharia on the phone. Call Asharia. All right, it's ringing.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, what's up, Asharia?
Not much. How's it going?
Good. Okay, they must have the panel off. So we're actually at your place right now. Nico's filming me. So you mind if we ask a few questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, can you hear? Does the audio sounds good? Okay, so, all right, so so you just bought this place remote. You aren't even on island yet, right? You did this completely remotely.
Correct, yeah.
What is one thing you wish you knew about the whole process that you didn't know, that you wish you knew now?
Definitely would be good to know what the closing timeline is and how each step of that goes, because it's different from the mainland. So that would be super helpful.
Yeah, no, it's super different than the mainland. How did it go with like the lender? Like, tell me how that experience was, because I know a lot of people like dread doing the pre-approval and everything. What was that like for you?
Well, you helped establish like a great foundation. So then when you recommended a lender, it felt like a more seamless process. Felt like you could trust the lender too. And because you knew the lender, then it was already a good relationship. So it was actually not as stressful as what it could have been. It's pretty seamless, actually. Just laid out the options, laid out the rates, and then we got moving to what works best.
Yeah, okay. Nico, what were some other questions we had? I actually wrote a bunch down. Let me go into my phone. Let me look. Yeah, tell us about because I know you work a lot. You just got back from being in the field. Like, where were you in life when you decided to make this purchase? Like, how did this whole thing fit in?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Well, so initially, obviously, like the PCS move was coming up and I knew about that. So that was a bit more of a stable timeline. But then when the closing actually happened, I was at like combat casualty training with pretty spotty service. But because we have a strong team and reliable people, we were able to get it done, even with like limited service. And of course, like the Army always works with you when it comes to big life moves like this. So turn a stressful situation into a easy process.
There we go. Okay, perfect. No, I love that. We're gonna get a few more shots and just lock up. And yeah, Shari, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Ben.
All right.
Good luck.
We'll see. Anything you want to say to the people before you get off?
No, just that you guys are great. Super happy to have worked with you. And I don't have anything but positive recommendations.
I love that. Oh, you're warming my heart. I did not pay her to say this. So, all right. Thanks, Shari. We'll lock up and get out of here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Ben.
All right. We'll see you.
See ya.
Yeah, none of that was scripted. None of that was scripted. So,
Yeah,
oh, she's still on the
Came
phone.
from my heart.
She's still on the phone. I was talking to the camera. I'll see you later.
See you later.
Bye. Yeah. So a lot of people ask me, like, what are the housing options when you PCS here? You really have three options. You can be living on post, you can rent off post, or you can purchase off post. If you're E3 and lower, you're likely going to be living on post. If you're E4 and married or above, you can definitely use your VA loan. God, I love this area. Am I sweating?
Yeah.
Oh, Hawaii. All right, so if you're gonna rent or if you're gonna buy, there really isn't a right answer. Each answer is gonna be different for every person. Like, have you ever seen that meme where there's like a 6 on the ground and the one guy's like, it's a 9, and one person's like, it's a 6. Well, both people are right in their own regard. So you really gotta dive into what's gonna be best for you and your situation, your finances, your family, your location, the commute time you want. You know, so that's why we do buyer's consultations and that kind of thing, to really get you a good idea, get you dialed in, and kind of see what works best for you guys. So when it comes to your unique situation, we got to talk about drive time, because commuting to each different base is going to vary quite a bit. So if you want a 15-minute drive time or a 45-minute drive time, we got to get into the weeds about traffic, rush hour, and neighborhoods around Oahu. Yeah, so if you lived here in Kaka'ako and let's say you were stationed at Schofield, you're looking at like a 50-minute to 1 hour drive time on the commute. It can be less if there's not traffic. Like if it's not rush hour traffic, it's only 35 minutes. But let's say you're in Kailua, Kaneohe, and you're stationed at Kaneohe Bay. That's only 10-minute, 5-minute commute. It's really gonna come down to your unique position. Okay, so whether you're going to be renting or buying, the process for both is, oh no. Okay, so whether you're renting or you're buying, doing either is very similar. If you're renting, you're gonna fill out an application, you're gonna make a deposit, you're gonna do an inspection where you walk through it, you're gonna sign a lease agreement, and you're gonna move in. Same thing with buying. You're gonna fill out a pre-approval, you're gonna make an earnest money deposit, you're gonna do some inspections, and then you're gonna close on the contract, sign the dotted line, and move in. It's that easy. Okay, so here's the bottom line. If you're gonna buy a home, you gotta make sure you're planning for the future. When you go to sell, are you going to rent it? Are you gonna keep it, or are you gonna try and sell it? Those are things you gotta think of from day one when you're buying. These are things that when they get overlooked, you have a bad experience. So we are here to try and correct that, okay? So now that we got some of the basics out of the way, we're actually gonna go talk to our buddy Nick Foley, who's a lender, and discuss the options about getting you pre-approved.
Nice. Roger that. Coming out.
Oh, you're recording now? Now you're recording?
Yes.
Oh, God. All right, we're here. Come on.
All right.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
That's all good. What's up, dude?
What's going on?
Not much, man.
Hey guys.
Good. Where's ambushing? Is it recording? Where's ambushing you with the camera right off the bat?
How's it going?
Good to see you.
guys.
Good to see you.
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah, so Nick Foley, everybody. High five, team.
Right on. How's it going?
All right, so Nico and I were just talking about people think it might be hard to PCS to Hawaii. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Right, yeah, a lot of people think like the process is pretty daunting when it comes to like say the pre-approval. It's actually not, it's pretty straightforward. At the end of the day, we're gonna collect a few documents from you, your LES, your W-2s, your tax returns, maybe some bank statements. You'll fill out my application. Once I have all that stuff on my end, it'll take about 24 hours to get back to you with the pre-approval.
Okay.
Then we can run some numbers for you just to make sure that we can find a price point that makes sense for you and your family. And at the end of the day, as long as we find something that meets your family's needs at the price point you're looking for, then that's how you know it's a good opportunity to buy in Hawaii.
Perfect. Yeah. So simple, right?
Yeah.
That's
it
what
really
you're
is.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. But we got a set for you.
Cool.
And we got some more questions. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get going.
All right.
Okay. My name is Nick Foley, and I am a loan officer, broker, work for Kaneohe Mortgage Group under the team, the High Five team. And I've been a broker for about 10 years now, but I came to Hawaii about 14 years ago where I was a golf professional, decided to switch careers about 4 years later, and been a broker ever since. Yeah, so the main difference between a broker and a retail lender is a retail lender is, do you want me to mention names like somebody like Veterans United? Or should I keep that out? Probably keep that out because I know you have relationships with them, so I don't want to do that. So the difference between a broker and a retail lender is a banking system that has one set of rates, basically. So if you go to a retail lender, they're going to say, hey, here's your rate sheet. This is what we can work with. Working with a broker, we have access to 100 different banking options. So basically, I'll narrow it down. If you're a VA loan, I'll narrow it down to probably 5 to 10 different lenders or banks. And they're all competing with one another. So they're all striving to offer the best rates available. So in general, when you're working with a broker, you're likely gonna see your interest rate to be about 0.5 point better than if you're dealing with a retail lender. So a pre-approval compared to like a pre-qualification, a pre-qualification would be where you tell me what your credit score is, you tell me how much money you make and how much money you have in the bank, and I could tell you approximately how much you could qualify for. A pre-approval is where we actually collect documentation from you and verify your income, verify your assets. We do a credit pull. We actually do a soft credit pull, so it won't have any impact on your credit scores. But having all of those different aspects allows us to do like a full pre-approval for you, where we can see kind of where you're at financially and know for sure what the numbers look like and what your buying power is. I think one of the main mistakes most VA buyers make before getting approved by a lender is assuming that they have their finances in order up front and not knowing specifically what it takes to qualify for a price range that they want. Especially in Hawaii being maybe a little bit more pricey, it's good to always talk to a lender in advance so that you can make sure that you know the numbers associated with what your buying power looks like, rather than just assuming that you're going to be able to afford whatever home you want. You may be able to afford that $1 million home, but it doesn't mean you want the $1 million mortgage payment. So important that you get the facts straight up front and meet with the lender up front. So the whole reason why I joined the mortgage industry is because I really have a passion for helping people through big experiences. So for example, buying a home is probably one of the most expensive things you're ever gonna go through until you do it again, especially in Hawaii. So I take a lot of pride in understanding that it's a big step for people, and it's really important that you know what it takes to get to the finish line. And having the education that you need is like the biggest thing that's gonna help you be prepared for signing those documents at the end of the day.
Space a little bit. Yeah, no worries. A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So have you been golfing?
I have played a little bit of golf lately. I went and played Hawaii Prince about a week ago.
Yeah.
And
Nick is a stick, by the way. You guy used to be pro card holder.
Yeah, it turned out all right. I ended up shooting 1 under par after being 3 over at one point, so I was pretty stoked about that.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So yeah, not only do we have all the information you need on your loans. And
if you need a golf lesson, I can try to help you out with that too.
Oh, there will be no try.
Right.
There will be no try. Oh, is that recording? Welcome. We just got to Kayla's. We're about to go set it up. We're in Kalihi right now. Is that cooking? Are we cooking?
We are cooking.
We're cooking. Weston, you want to say hi to the camera? Nope. We're just gonna blow up your spot.
You're gonna take pictures. You said I didn't need it clean.
I need a nail a couple times, and then.
Okay, so my name is Kayla Orvik. I'm a major in the United States Army. I'm a foreign area officer. I work at USERPAC, so Fort Shafter. In life, where was I in life? I'm 36, so I am nearing the end of my Army life cycle, and everybody tells you at every duty station that you should buy a home, but Army and life always get in the way, and this is the 8th duty station I've been at, so I figured now I should probably start, now that my end of term is coming. when I started this process, I was actually living in South Korea. So sight unseen, Hawaii unseen at the time. Buying a house on Hawaii is a finite resource and will always have equity in some way, shape, or form, and now should not be the time that I kick the can a little further down the road and not invest. So I did. Before I purchased, I wish I had a little bit more information on demography and geography of the island. There's definitely something to be said for niches and pockets of people and cultures and activities, and I wish I would have taken into consideration a little bit more the ROI, or the return on investment, for what it will look like if I sell. This place is beautiful. I love it for me, but the market after me is not single with a dog and a cat. The market after me is probably a family near school districts, closer to the city or further away from the city, depending. A cool thing about the Army is like we're adult children. Like we are told what to do, where to be, how to do things. And nobody really teaches us how to buy a home, especially when it comes at the tune of like $1 million investment. So it's a daunting task, and there's no like dummy's guide to doing it. So yeah, I, as a 36-year-old, was terrified of dropping $750,000 on a home in a one-time single purchase. But it was actually very, very simple. I did the whole thing sight unseen. I signed everything actually for my parents' house in Florida. I got the keys when I arrived. I didn't have anything until I got here, and rolled straight into the property when I landed on the island. I would highly, highly consider like making some things. We all come from probably a lot bigger land in Army duty stations where property is much cheaper and you're able to get a lot more for your money. But I would suggest, or I would offer, that you're not doing what you do at a normal duty station. My life is not spent in this home. I love this home, but 90% of my life is outside in Hawaii and enjoying Hawaii. So I am able to live in a much smaller footprint than I would have lived, say, in Clarksville, Tennessee, or Fort Riley, Kansas. What I need out of a home here is completely different than what I need out of a home somewhere else. So Wesson is a special case. It was kind of twofold on how difficult it was because I was out of country. So I was in Korea doing it remote from a remote location. Wesson was with my parents in Florida. He is a stub-nosed breed, which adds complexity to how you ship because he can't fly in cargo. Stub-nosed breeds have to be in a pressurized cabin. So when I got notification that I was coming to Hawaii, I started the process. I actually reached out to island pet movers to help out because I just couldn't manage my job, being overseas, traveling, and then getting all of his shots and stuff done. But it is actually doable. There's a checklist that you can follow. I would recommend having at least 30 days CONUS or wherever you're able to get rabies vaccinations done to be able to do it, and follow the very regimented timeline and time hacks, because if you do not follow the procedures, your pets could be in quarantine for 30 days upon arrival, which was not something I was willing to concede. Worth the struggle. Now he's a happy island dog. If you can tell, can you hear him snoring?
Thank you for having us, Kayla.
Of course. I can't get up. I refuse to get up.
I was kidding.
Of course.
We're recording.
All right, so we just heard from Kayla. She had a lot of really good stuff to say. I'm really glad you guys tuned in. I hope you found this informational. I think we got to do some more videos though. Nico, do you think we should do like a few more just like interview videos where we get more information from people?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.